How does historical materialism explain the transition to capitalism? Have you ever wondered why societies change from one economic system to another? Historical materialism offers a fascinating perspective on this question. Developed by Karl Marx, this theory looks at how the economic base of society influences everything else, including class relations. To understand the transition to capitalism, we need to start with feudalism. Feudalism was a system where land ownership was everything. Lords owned the land, and serfs worked it in exchange for protection. This relationship was rigid and limited. However, as time passed, things began to change. Improvements in agricultural techniques and early manufacturing allowed serfs to produce more than just what they needed to survive. They started creating surplus goods. This surplus led to the rise of markets where people could exchange goods. Suddenly, new economic relationships began to from outside the old feudal order. At the same time, a new class emerged, the bourgeoisie. This group consisted of merchants and manufacturers who produced goods primarily for sale rather than for personal use. As they grew in power, they began to clash with the feudal aristocracy, who were still tied to land and traditional privileges. As commodity production expanded, the old feudal structures became obstacles. The guild system, which had controlled production, was replaced by a more efficient manufacturing system. This shift allowed for better production methods and the accumulation of capital. With these economic changes came class struggle. The declining feudal lords fought to maintain their power, while the rising bourgeoisie sought political influence to protect their interests. This struggle led to significant social and political upheavals that ultimately dismantled feudalism. As private ownership of the means of production took hold, capitalism emerged as the dominant mode of production. This new system replaced feudal obligations with wage labor. Historical materialism explains that the transition to capitalism was driven by contradictions within feudal society. The developing productive forces could no longer coexist with outdated social relations. This led to the rise of the bourgeoisie and a new mode of production based on commodity exchange and capital accumulation. From a communist viewpoint, this transition is seen as a necessary step in human development. While capitalism advanced productive forces, it also created new contradictions, particularly the exploitation of the working class. These contradictions set the stage for future changes, including the potential rise of communism, a classless society without private ownership of production means.